Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Krashy, and today we're going to be diving into a first impression / should you buy Buzzwole, my thoughts kind of video. So last night, it actually took me a while to get Buzzwole. I just kept like not getting lucky on rolling the dice in solo queue, and eventually got my hands on him and was able to play a bunch of different builds. We didn't have like UniteDB information on scaling or anything yet, so we were just kind of going in blind, testing things out. I mean, I played it a little bit on the PTS, but the PTS is Malaysia server for me whenever I connect, so it's kind of hard to actually play the character and not just like mess around with it. But I feel like I have a decent handle on it. I want to explain what I thought about the character and ultimately answer the question of should you buy Buzzwole. So if you wouldn't mind, do me a favor, drop a like on the video, subscribe for future Pokemon Unite content. I post daily, if not daily, just about every day. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So Buzzwole is a lot of fun. I'm just gonna get that right out of the way. I had a lot of fun playing this Pokemon. The all-rounder kind of bruiser role, the bruiser archetype in MOBAs is almost always my favorite. I really like just getting in the back line, being able to peel, being able to do damage, but also not being super squishy at the same time. It's just fun. I enjoy it quite a bit, and this character has some really cool like move synergies, and like the animations are cool. And I gotta say, there's probably like an effect name for this, but there's something about Buzzwole being so big that makes him feel a little clunky and slow. Like I said, I'm sure there's some kind of a name for that, but overall the character feels pretty solid. It doesn't feel super game changing or broken or anything like that, and it's definitely not weak. It has a lot of strength to it. We were playing before UniteDB had released like any of the scaling information or anything like that, so we were kind of going in a little bit like blind, minus my little bit of testing on the PTS, which was minimal since the lag. But once I've like looked at some of the numbers and stuff, now I have an idea of like what builds I'm going to want to run and what abilities I want to take. Ultimately, I think that this Pokemon feels solid. It feels like an A tier pick. Keep in mind, I kind of like manage my tier list with like S, A+, and A, and then it goes down further from that. It feels like a solid A tier pick. Really good in the jungle. Everything's good in the jungle, right? And I only played it in lane once, and that was off stream. I've only played it in lane once, and it felt okay. I think that if you really want to stack an attack weight and really try to get that kind of value, then you can definitely do that. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to run like a defensive option on this character. It really feels like a triple damage kind of character, especially just like in the current state of the game. Like you can throw a focus band or a buddy barrier on anything. I'm just not sure he needs it. I think that it would probably do better just running triple damage. So attack scaling feels pretty solid on this character. Something like Muscle Band feels like it's a necessity. I think that that's the one item that definitely feels like a necessity. And then I was liking things like Razor Claw. I messed around with Energy Amplifier. I want to mess around with that a little bit more as well. But I might even try, even jungle or lane, just running double attack stat items. So like Weakness Policy and Attack Weight, and just trying to get a lot of damage and seeing if I can, get in the back line and execute the back line and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. As far as competitively, I don't know that I think that this character will make many waves in the competitive scene. I can't really see this Pokemon on the same level as Serena, Machamp, maybe even Lucario, but it does bring a kind of different take to the all-rounder role. It's much more of a CC all-rounder. It really is. I think Serena kind of matches it just with the Unite move, but even then, like no other all-rounders really doing like kind of like this layer of CC. You have Dynamic Punch on Machamp. Lucario has like a slight knockback, or Meteor Mash, Bone Rush. But ultimately, Buzzwole just feels like he can get in, be really disruptive, do a lot of damage, and yeah, he feels pretty solid. So Aegislash kind of comparison, I think that Aegislash actually does outperform this Pokemon quite a bit, but maybe is like a little less bursty, even though Aegislash can be incredibly bursty. And Buzzwole just feels like he's a little bit more like damage focused, I suppose, if that makes sense. And Aegislash has more of like the gimmick of being tanky and yeah, being able to do damage. So I don't know, random comparison there. As far as the abilities, I really liked Lunge. I really like Lunge. I need to look back at UniteDB and stuff and just like look for more information, because all that stuff is really new and fresh for now, and kind of see what the Lunge attack raise is like. At level 13, Lunge Plus will give you an attack raise, so I was trying to play around with that with attack stat, like Weakness Policy with Lunge Plus and getting attack raise. And then I threw an Energy Amplifier. That's one of the gameplays I posted, was me trying out like Energy Amplifier with Weakness Policy to see if I could get like a heavy attack raise into an ultimate. The ultimate scales with like 200+% or something, so I could see, as long as the character is like somewhat low, like executing with that character doing like a crazy amount, or even something different Leech life scales off of percentage of max health, so I could see even going into like a really bruisery kind of tanky build for this character being like a fun, viable option. I don't think it's going to be the best way to play the character, because I think that the way that like solo queue works out and just like playing the game in general is like you tend to want to be the playmaker of your own games. At least that's how you can be more consistent yourself. So, you know, going into solo queue playing Buzzwole, like stacking a cookie and like having like a buddy barrier with like a potion or something is probably not going to be the best way to play. But I do think that that could be a play style. Like the irony is that if you're playing in like a trio queue or like a 5-stack, that could actually be like a play style that you would want to employ just to bring a little bit extra bulk to the table while still being able to dish out some damage. So overall, the character feels really, really fun, but it is a 12k gold Pokemon. So I forget what the gems are. I can't recall what the gem cost is, but 12k gold. We know that Tyranitar coming up is going to be 14k, so they're kind of inching their way forward in terms of inflation, making the prices a little bit higher. But I gotta say, I think that if you are a person that has the majority of the roster, I want to answer the question now. If you're a person that has the majority of the roster and you just want to continue to get it, then yeah, get it. If you got the extra gold and you're not like excited about any other Pokemon immediately, I'd say get it. If you're really trying to be a little bit more frugal, if you're trying to just pick out some of the better characters, I would say you could probably wait on this Pokemon. There are other all-rounder options that you listening here right now probably already have that I do think are probably better, and there are other junglers, if you're looking at the jungle role, like if you're not just looking at like say like the top lane role, that will probably perform equal if not better. So overall, I think Buzzwole is a lot of fun. I definitely would recommend picking it up if you want to play with it. It's not a waste of gold, I'll put it that way, but it's not the most impactful and it's not necessarily the most strong Pokemon in the game. It can still put up 80, 90, 100k damage games. I think almost anything this day and age can do that. Not anything, but most damage dealers in the game feel like they can put up like 100k damage if you're having a really solid game with emblems. And as far as emblems goes, I think that you could use like a white page, but you probably are just going to lean into browns with like crit, something like that, raising your attack stat, and then just trying to be strong. So yeah, that's what I've been thinking. For the abilities right now, like I said, I think I like Lunge and Superpower the most. Leech Life seems interesting, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Also, the range on it is just so incredibly short. That's like one of the clunky things about Buzzwole that I have to get a little bit more used to. I think it's just about putting some repetition in and getting some time on the character to kind of feel out the range of the abilities and get a little bit more comfortable with it. But overall, I really enjoyed Buzzwole. So friends, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to know what you think about the character, if you're going to pick it up, if you already got it, and yeah, anything in between. So as always, be sure to be kind to one another, tell someone you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.